very good evening to you. I am Ryan Broom with the Monday, October 23rd edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story, bandits broke into almost a dozen vehicles in 3 St. Michael districts early this morning. The incident has left some residents feeling violated and questioning the level of safety of their neighborhood. Kent Jerson has the details.
Some residents in Embassy Gardens, Lower Burney and First Avenue Haggett Hall woke this morning to find their vehicles had been broken into. The culprits had come overnight in the wee hours of the morning and had gained entry by breaking a window on each of the vehicles. In the vehicles, there are signs that someone had been rummaging through the cubbyholes and other areas. Anthony Coward, who prefers to speak off camera, is one of the victims.
Well, actually, a neighbor called me out and advised me that all the cars in the neighborhood had gotten damaged. And then I checked and I found that somebody had broken the front window of the car. I haven't checked it thoroughly yet because I'm waiting until the police deal with the car before I really go into it. I feel very sad about it. Like I've been violated, like the car, people just come and violate your property.
Mr. Coward also says the incident has left him feeling less safe in his neighborhood. Another resident, Lal Branker, was spared a broken window because his car was unlocked.
But I see it was already much just ramps up, so I continued to work as usual.
So then you found out there were other people involved?
I was surprised when I got back here now. When I come now for lunch, I was about to warm Mr. Coward. But he already damaged.
So when you realized this morning, you didn't notice that it was other people who had...
No. I thought it was one by one.
Is anything missing?
Not really.
Does this make you feel less safe in your neighborhood?
I'm uncomfortable right now.
Up to news time, it was unclear what, if anything, has been taken from the vehicles. Police Public Relations Officer, Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler says the break-ins appear to have occurred in the wee hours of the morning.
Approximately 10 more vehicles have been damaged by a culprit or culprits, and this would have occurred sometime in the early morning of this morning, sometime in the area of 5 a.m. We are conducting investigations. At this time, we're making an appeal to anyone who can provide information to assist us in solving these matters to contact the District 8 Police Station at 430-7246 or 430-7242.
Police also say any information provided will be treated confidentially. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
Thanks, Kent. Well, Airbnb is a fundamental part of Barbados' future in tourism. That's according to Tourism Minister Richard Seeley. He expects that along with an increase in hotel bookings for the upcoming winter season, Airbnb and other homestay accommodations will also be a major factor. Amid calls from some stakeholders for greater regulation of the Airbnb market, the minister says government will be treading carefully.
Existing players are using these platforms and they are paying taxes. So to the extent that, yes, there are people who are not in the tax net that need to be drawn in, we just need to look at it carefully to see how we can do it. It's being looked at. Certainly my position all along has been let's tread carefully, and I've indicated as much to the Ministry of Finance. We can get it done, but we want to get it done right. There's no point getting it done and have to come back and redo it all over again.
And Minister Seeley says Barbados is yet to sign a formal agreement with Airbnb like other countries have done. However, he accepts that these players are here to stay, and his ministry will be working with them as they seek to bring more business to the country.
You cannot stop people, particularly now the millennials are getting older and older, from using an information communication technology platform to book their accommodation, and for that matter to plan their entire vacation experience. So we have to take it into account. And whether it's Airbnb, HomeAway, FlipKey, there are so many of them now. There's even a Caribbean spin-off as well that we're hearing about. So we have to continue to work with these players because they are part of the exercise.
As financial technology or fintech company eSolutions prepares to roll out its e-payment platform, we're hearing that the vital transportation sector is to be involved. Chief Executive Officer Dwayne Roach says it will soon announce a pilot project with the Alliance Owners of Public Transport that will allow passengers to pay their bus and taxi fares directly from their credit union accounts. He adds this will bring Barbados in line with other markets that offer hired car services like Uber and Lyft. The service, Mr. Roach says, will also be extended to include airlines as well.
eSolutions and TransIsland Air are in the process of embarking on a pilot project that would allow the ePay platform to be used for airline ticket payments, much to the benefit, of course, to credit union members. This would mean that users of the service, including ePay, COB ePay users, would not need a credit card or debit card in order to make their airline ticket purchases. We're also exploring similar arrangements with other regional and international carriers.
In other news, children living in the city are being told that all is not lost in their lives, and through an old Barbadian tradition, they're being given an opportunity to make the best of their lives. Lisa Broom tells us more.
Partnership with some churches and other civic organizations in the city has come together to birth a mentorship program for children. It's the City of Bridgetown Humanitarian Assistance Fund, or COBHAF, which was launched with a church service yesterday. Vice President of the foundation, Amanda Lynch, says it's based on the old adage that it takes a village to raise a child.
Understanding and knowing that there is a place for the church. There's a place that the church can counsel and nurture our children, and even by extension from our children, even the parents of children. Because at the end of the day, we consider the village of the city everyone that encompasses it, whether it's church, whether it's school.
And President Lawrence Lorenzo Gittins says initially he was discouraged by some parents who thought setting up the program was a waste of time. But using his own experience as an example, the singer encouraged the children to take advantage of the opportunity.
Remember, there is hope. You're the hope. You know what I mean? The past before, he talked about the change in his life. You know, and know that, and there's even, I'm speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself. We can all change and change for the better. We can change and change for the better. If there's one thing you all leave here with, I know where you live there too. You can change, but you can change for the better.
Meantime, City MP Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick praised the program, noting there were similar efforts in the past.
We didn't call it mentorship at the time, but believe you me, it was mentorship. Whether it was through apprenticeship with skills, whether it was through attending vocational Bible school at churches, or participating in sports and being mentored by sportsmen and women who we looked up to, mentorship took place.
Lieutenant Colonel Bostick also told parents present the program was designed to support but not replace them and could not work without their backing. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Thanks, Lisa. Well, young people have a major role to play in charting the way forward for the regional trade union movement. This is the view being expressed as a Barbados Workers Union again hosts a regional youth seminar at the Frank Walker Labour College. The seminar, which takes place from October 23rd to 27th, will give young people from all over the Caribbean an understanding of many of the fundamental roles and responsibilities central to the trade union movement. During the opening ceremony, Tourism Minister Richard Seeley praised the work of unions, pointing out that their work has been critical to the country's overall development.
A lot of what we take for granted in this part of the world has a lot to do with what the trade union movement has meant over the years. And you as the future have to understand this and have to be prepared to take this to another level. In the same way that governments have to change the way they do things, private sector operatives have to change the way they do things, the trade union movement must also evolve. And that's why exercises like this, the very future of the union movement, are so important.
And Deputy General Secretary of the BWU and Principal of the Frank Walker Labour College, Doreen Dean, says several issues continue to stifle the progress of workers in the Caribbean. Because of this, she says there's a need for more young people to get on board to guarantee the survival of the movement.
Workers being fired without an opportunity to be heard, parties not keeping agreements made in good faith, the fight to gain recognition in the face of harassment and intimidation, workers fighting to keep jobs in the face of privatization, including those in the agriculture and sugar industries, the intentional stalling of negotiations, and the list goes on. These serve to remind us that the work of the trade union movement is as relevant today as it was back in the 18th century.
Well, we take a pause here, but we'll have more news after the break.
It started with my love for making things. That became a business. And when I wanted to expand, I chose a partner that could help me build on my vision. A partner that made growing my business easier with fewer steps. That's banking that starts with me.
It starts with you. Scotiabank.
Upgrade to Digicel's Quick Pick Bundles. Save big on data. Get data and get unlimited WhatsApp messaging and Digicel Talk. Pick a 1-day bundle, a 7-day bundle, or for the best value, a 30-day bundle. Save money every single day. Pick the bundle that's right for you. Go to My Digicel app or dial *246 to buy a Quick Pick bundle today. Digicel.
Help support the restoration efforts for the hundreds of thousands affected by catastrophic hurricanes. Donate to the Red Cross Hurricane Relief account at any branch of the following: CIBC First Caribbean, account number 10011633436. First Citizens, 500-900-00588. RBC Royal Bank, 210-05073, and Republic Bank, 01804-153-1001. Monies raised will be sent to the International Red Cross for its restoration work for affected persons. Appeal closes 30th November 2017. Persons wishing to post checks should make these out to Red Cross Hurricane Relief Appeal account and post to Barbados Red Cross Society, P.O. Box 300, Bridgetown, or hand deliver to the Red Cross Warrens headquarters. The Barbados Red Cross and commercial banks, on behalf of the victims of catastrophic hurricanes, thank all persons and businesses for their contributions.
Welcome back. Well, the demands for services at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital will continue to increase. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dexter James says this will be driven by factors outside of their control. Non-communicable diseases are also expected to add to the increase in healthcare costs. Dr. James revealed that 55% of expenditure in health today is funded through taxation. Another 39% comes through what is termed out-of-pocket costs. The latter, according to Dr. James, may need to be reviewed.
Because the World Health Organization says countries that have out-of-pocket expenses between 29 and 40% are likely to exhibit what they refer to as catastrophic health expenditure. And they estimate that at least 2% of your population will find themselves not being able to afford health care. So this is an area that we have to look at very carefully in designing any national health insurance scheme. Indeed, the design must be one in which we reduce the out-of-pocket expenses that the population will have to pay for health care.
And Dr. James says that unlike other Caribbean countries that have embarked on a national health insurance program, Barbados would not have to rely heavily on sending patients overseas for health care.
If we take a system-wide approach to it, we have enough resources to take care of the resident need of the population and beyond. Some examples of providers will include Elizabeth Hospital will be seen as a preferred provider for secondary and tertiary care. But it includes our polyclinics and district hospitals, the psychiatric and geriatric hospitals, the private hospitals and providers, the NGOs and overseas providers.
The Ministry of Health is looking at establishing a charity to solicit and receive donations for the psychiatric hospital. Minister John Boy says the hospital has an annual budget of around $30 million, but it is always in need of much more resources. He says the setting up of the Friends of the Psychiatric Hospital charity will allow them to streamline all donations.
Very soon, the hospital will be producing a prospectus to highlight equipment, supplies, and services that are most needed at this present time to improve the health care and support to clients and their families. Of course, we plan to solicit your input in identifying services that are needed in the community, including the expansion of preventive and promotional activities.
Mr. Boyce was speaking during an awards ceremony over the weekend to recognize everyday heroes who volunteer their time and services to the hospital without any form of compensation. Acting Director of the hospital, David Leacock, says there is still a lot of stigma and discrimination surrounding mental illness.
This fight can't be won by the efforts of the Ministry of Health and the hospital alone. It requires the input of all Barbadians. It requires the involvement of all Barbadians. And it requires all of us to be engaged in this process. We as Barbadians often have what I call the call-in program mentality, where we believe that once we have complained about the issue, we have done something about it. This is not the case. We need to do more than that.
More than 40 people came together over the weekend to show off their artistic skills in the name of breast cancer. They were a part of the CIBC First Caribbean Bank's second annual Paint for the Cure event. CIBC's walk manager, Crystal Maynard, says the event allows people of various ages to help create a masterpiece that represents something hopeful for breast cancer. Ms. Maynard explained what the participants painted.
The painting today is a bird and a pink ribbon. The pink ribbon symbolizes breast cancer. The bird symbolizes hope, faith, and love for those persons who have been impacted by breast cancer.
With around 15,000 people having attended CIBC's Walk for the Cure and over $200,000 already collected for donation to the Barbados Cancer Society, the bank is still looking forward to its final event, the celebrity cricket match.
Our CIBC First Caribbean male staff members are going to play a celebrity team, and we are so excited for that match. That's going to culminate all of the activities.
We take another break, but still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region.
November 1st and 2nd. Get ready for Innovate Barbados, a conference like no other, delivering unique experiences and collaborative connections. Innovate for impact. Explore groundbreaking ideas, big talks from industry thought leaders, and the right mix of business with pleasure. Take the unique opportunity to book your own exclusive one-on-one networking experience with featured conference and keynote speakers in our Connection Zone. This all happens in one place, the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center in Barbados, November 1st and 2nd. Let's meet at Innovate Barbados 2017, the premier innovation conference of the Caribbean. Secure your space at innovatebarbados.com. Innovate Barbados. Register now. November 1st and 2nd. Get ready for Innovate Barbados, a conference like no other, delivering unique experiences and collaborative connections. Innovate for impact. Explore groundbreaking ideas, big talks from industry thought leaders, and the right mix of business with pleasure. Take the unique opportunity to book your own exclusive one-on-one networking experience with featured conference and keynote speakers in our Connection Zone. This all happens in one place, the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center in Barbados, November 1st and 2nd. Let's meet at Innovate Barbados 2017, the premier innovation conference of the Caribbean. Secure your space at innovatebarbados.com. Innovate Barbados. Register now.
Honey, Mommy, this kitchen needs painting.
Why not the whole house?
We hitting the jackpot at Berger Paint.
Enter to win free paint in one of 7 prizes in the Anson McCall Lucky 7 jackpot worth $140,000. Just spend $100 at Brightest Stokes, Brightest Express and Stationery, Brightest Insurance Standard, MQI, Berger Paints, or Consolidated Finance. Enter your code online at www.ansonlucky7jackpot.com for your chance to win. See website for full details.
Twelve schools reopened across Dominica today, and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit expects more to do the same next week. Schools were dealt a severe blow following the passage of Hurricane Maria, and several are serving as shelters for many Dominicans. Mr. Skerrit says arrangements are being made to provide temporary housing accommodations for those people currently in shelters.
We have a number of tents that we've received, and those tents will be erected on the compound of the old schools, the schools which existed prior to Hurricane Maria. So the intention is to move to have every school reopened. Today in Cabinet we will take certain decisions on the shelters and to provide some absolute temporary housing for the residents at the shelters, particularly those who are in schools.
Meanwhile, Dominica's government is to sign a contract soon for the erection of a number of Bailey bridges.
As we all know, some areas have been compromised with the washing away of the existing bridge structures, and one of the quickest ways to have those communities reconnected and the roads connected is the erection of Bailey bridges. We have those Bailey bridges, that is the structures on island. We procured this from our friendly government in the region, and we have been in negotiations with a company to have them erected. Those negotiations have been concluded.
Dutch St. Martin is refusing to accept 2 conditions which the Netherlands wants to impose on rebuilding its hurricane-ravaged infrastructure. The first is that an integrity chamber be set up. Under leadership of the Netherlands, this chamber will make sure that the emergency aid is spent well and prevent corruption. The second condition is that the Netherlands take over the island's border control and strengthen it by sending more officers to St. Martin. In this way, the Netherlands wants to prevent undocumented migrants entering the island to perform reconstruction work cheaply and illegally. Only under these 2 conditions will the lower house agree to provide financial aid for St. Martin's reconstruction. In a letter to the Minister of Home Affairs and Kingdom Relations, Prime Minister William Marlin said that St. Martin cannot agree to the conditions by the October 31st deadline. He says the territory is open to come to the Netherlands to discuss other conditions. And the Rockstone Fish Festival in Guyana is coming of age. Now in its 12th year, the event was developed by the Guyana Tourism Authority. It is being held this month end. Ayana George has more.
It's one of the initiatives of the Guyana Tourism Authority to boost ecotourism, and it is expected to attract thousands of sport fishers to Rockstone in the Essequibo River. The 12th Rockstone Fish Festival is set for the 28th and 29th of October. All roads will lead to Rockstone through the mining town of Linden. Coordinator of the festival, Joseph Massey, says the festival is a highly anticipated event. Here's more.
This year we have a well-packed competition and event for you guys. I would like to take the opportunity to say we'll start with the opening ceremony on Saturday, in which we will also spread out with the bike race competition. We'll have the tug of war competition, the volleyball competition. We'll have a karaoke. It's not really a competition, it's more like an event, so it's for just entertainment. We'll have the camping will be there this year, camping space available. We have the open air movie night, along with some bonfire and singing.
Apart from the entertainment and sports activities, there will be island tours in the Essequibo River and bird watching tours for birders.
Fish catching competition, I think it's the main competition of this event. It's a very fun competition. It will be spreading out with for the fishing competition. It will spread out to the heaviest catch of the day, the largest catch of the day, the largest arowana, and the largest lukanani, along with the largest catfish, which can spread out into many different categories that will include lau lau or so on. We have the skeet or so.
The two-day community-based event has mainly attracted locals over the years, but this year the organizers are eyeing foreigners. Guyana Tourism Authority event officer Ronald Smith says there will be strong collaboration with the private sector to put Rockstone Fish Festival on the map.
Well, sports news is next with Damian Best, but first here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
A breast self-examination is an exam of the breast that you do yourself on a monthly basis. This tip is brought to you in association with the Barbados Cancer Society Breast Screening Program, celebrating its 15th anniversary.